We wanted as a leadership team to pass on our top tips to you and do it in a really efficient and quick way. So we're going to do 1 minute each. We're going to all come up on the platform and give you what we each believe to be our very top tip. Then I'll talk to you about what happens next, and then we can go. So ladies, join me on the stage. So top tips, one by one.
Hello, and I'm in the number 1 seat. So I want to say, be very, very clear about what you're good at and what you're not good at, because no person and no company can possibly be good at everything. I am truly bad at fashion. I am not interested in fashion whatsoever. So quite a long time ago now, about 15 years ago, I recognised that I was capable of getting it wrong, and I was getting it wrong. So I decided, very simply, to take pattern out of my life.
Lost something.
Unless I'm wearing a dress, in which case that's one piece, and even I can't get that wrong. So you will only ever see me wearing plain clothes, because colour clashing is good too, yeah? And therefore, I am righter more often.
Hi, Emma Sargent from DAS. Several years ago, I was given the opportunity to run a JV startup. And unfortunately, for many reasons, it went wrong. I dragged my trailing spouse, which was my husband, across to the US. I'd taken one daughter with me. I'd left one daughter behind. I felt terribly guilty. I felt devastated for them and for my staff. And I thought I'd never get over it. But I think what I learned from that experience was resilience, putting myself at the centre of a problem, being really honest, and really realising how powerful that was. And I look back and think it was actually one of the best things that happened to me. So don't be afraid of failure.
Hello, I'm Tiffany R. Warren with Omnicom Group. The best example of this tip is when you're in an airplane, and I hope this never happens, but the oxygen masks drop down. You have to give yourself oxygen first before you help the person next to you. So when you think of your community and your ecosystem, be very, very sure to take care of yourself first and defend your physical and your mental health at all times.
Maggie Collier from Flamingo. There's been times in my career when I wish somebody had given me a good shake and told me to keep a sense of perspective. So I'd like to send a shake out to all of you to say, keep a sense of perspective about your work, know when to switch off and switch your attention to family, friends, your interests. Those things will sustain you, and if you can switch off and then switch back on again, that'll be good for your career. My thing is riding horses. I can't think about work when I'm on a horse. I'd fall off, and that's good for me.
So manage your energy. I think I learned this lesson the hard way. I used to, at a stage of my career, every holiday I started off by falling ill. Every weekend I was a totally spent force. And it was actually my mother who looked at me once and she used these words, "You are not being fair," which really touches the heart. And she said, "Save something for us." And now I look at managing energy. Energy is finite. To-do lists are endless. So you have to cap the amount of energy that you give to your work and your career. You also have to cap the amount of time you give to satisfying every whim and desire of your family. And actually give time for just being, for loving what you do when it's not predicated on action. And then I think work, life, family, love, they can probably all come together rather more harmoniously.
Excellent. My tip is go for excellence, not perfection. I think perfection is a very temporary thing. It's not sustainable. Sometimes we don't really like perfectionists. And I think the tendency in our jobs is to slavishly go for perfection on everything. But a much healthier attitude is, I think, to go for excellence, not perfection, because excellence is pretty great. And if you go for quality in everything and aim for excellence and stop slavishly trying to be perfect, you save yourself a lot of time, you have a lot more energy, a lot more fun, a lot more sense of perspective, and people like you more.
Hello, I'm Katie. I've got a tip which is in 2 parts. This is a room full of women, so this is a room full of people who are naturally nurturers in life. So the first half of my tip is to help other people, be brilliant at what they do. And not only will that give you a really good sense of feeling inside yourself, but it will also make you an incredibly inspiring manager. But the flip side of my tip is to stop you doing something which is another female urge, which is to do everything yourself and to do it to the best of your ability and to try and control everything, whether that's owning the client relationship or stacking the dishwasher in a certain way because you know just how to do it best. So my second half of advice is let other people help you, whether it's someone at work or someone at home. They might not do it exactly the way that you would do it, but if you're surrounded by good people, they will do it perfectly well and they will help you be great as well. So help others and accept help from other people too.
Hello, I'm Vanella from Hall & Partners, and I wanted to pass on a tip that was given to me by my very first boss. And what he said was, yes, Vanella, all those wonderful ideas are actually fantastic, but really what you're missing is that the hardest thing and the tricky thing is making them happen. So my advice to you is to pick the idea that you really want to make happen, look around, find the people that can help you do that, and hold yourself accountable for making ideas happen.
Sarah from Wolf Owens, and my top tip comes from my mum, where I get all my best material from. And when I first started out in my working life, I had a lot of trouble fitting in, and I felt a lot of pressure to conform. And I had a chat with my mum at the time, and she said to me, look, the thing is, you've got to be prepared to be different sometimes, and you've got to be prepared to stand for something, or you'll fall for just about anything. So make sure that you know what you stand for, what you believe in, and where your values are. And you'll always act with conviction, you'll always have courage, and you'll always be fearless. And I pass that on to you.
Hi, I'm Fenella at Porter Novelli. Mine's about knowing your worth. I think it's very easy to get bogged down in the day-to-day and not sometimes take a step back and think about how you can contribute, what difference you make every day. And I think one thing is understanding your worth and knowing your worth actually unlocks really great opportunity for you. So if you're clear in your head about the value you bring, that in turn should give you sort of greater fulfillment. So know your worth and go get it.
I'm Sam from RAP. My top tip is about being yourself, being authentic. It's about not necessarily spilling your guts, as somebody said earlier today, but actually running your own race and being authentic. And the second part to that is also about valuing yourself. Friends would say to me, gosh, you've done very well to get where you've got to, chief this, chief that. And I would always dismiss it. I would always say, I got lucky, I'm a hard worker, or someone pushed me into the role. Well, actually, no, I got there because I'm damn good at my job. And you are all here because you're damn good at your job. So please value yourselves as you go on to your leadership journey.
Hi, my name is Joanne Trout, and I'm with Omnicom. My tip is picture where you want to be in 5 years. But my advice would be to focus on what you're doing and less on titles. And sometimes your career may zig and zag with lateral moves to get to that goal or that vision, and that's great. That's what happened with me. But I think the most important thing is to really enjoy the journey.
My name's Amelia, I'm from TBWA. I did have a tip, and Scilla said it's quite close to mine, and it's true. I had done is better than perfect, which is very, very similar to Scilla. So in the spirit of disruption, I'm going to change my tip. And it's that a point of view is worth 80 IQ points. And I think that it is a female trait that we really want to be right, and we try and get it right. And I guess that's the perfection thing, and we want to be smart, and we want to be clever, and we want to do the right answer. And I just sort of go, actually, I don't necessarily want the smartest person in the room. I want a really intelligent, provocative point of view. And I just think, have a point of view, because it'll get you noticed. And again, it's standing for something. So a point of view is worth 80 IQ points.
Hi, I'm Denise from Ketchum, and my tip is to learn to let go. We tend to ruminate on things. We also tend to really want to dig in and do everything ourselves, as someone has already said. So my best tip is learn to let go so you can free yourself up to do other things, and trust the people around you.
My tip is to stop doing something that I think women unconsciously do. And I'm sorry I have to say this, but I think you got to stop apologizing. We apologize. I'm sorry I'm late. I'm sorry I have to leave. I'm sorry we didn't start in time. I'm sorry I couldn't deliver for you. We say it all the time, and I don't think we realize it. And by the way, I don't hear guys saying that a lot. So stop apologizing. We are all of extraordinary value.
I'm Emily from Porter. My top tip is actually some advice I got from a phenomenal global client. To me, this woman was juggling a trillion million things. Seemed to me that she was running the world from her desk. So I simply asked her, well, how do you do it? And she said, it's simple. Every morning when I go into the office, I think about the 3 things that I will not do today. And how I decide on that is, where I can best put my efforts to make a difference, and, who are the people that I can make a difference to. So every morning now, I have a to-do not do list and a to-do list. So that is my top tip.
Well, thank you, everyone. I mean, I think the advice we've heard in the last 10 minutes is pure gold. So hopefully in the pack and the materials that we send you after today, you'll dwell on those tips, because they're hard-earned and very, very precious as tips. I think we can all take something from that. So thank you, everybody.